finding the volume of composite figures. Composite figures means two figures either put together or two figures taken apart. So what you're going to do for composite figures is either add two figures together to make a bigger volume, or you're cutting a hole out, so you're subtracting a volume. Here we have an example. We have a cylinder, as we can see, with a hollow shape of a prism in the center. Okay, find its volume to the nearest tenth. So what we're going to do is find the volume of the cylinder. That's our solid, but we want to cut out or subtract the volume of the prism. So we're going to find the volume of the cylinder, the whole thing, and then subtract whatever the volume of that prism is out of the center, so that we can find out what's left over, which would be the volume of our actual figure there. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's find the volume of the cylinder first. So look in your notes. Okay, I'm going to do the cylinder down here because it's going to take the least amount of room. Okay, so the cylinder. Look in your notes, and for volume you should see pi times radius squared times the height. Okay, so that gives us pi times, they showed us the radius, the distance from the center to the edge of the circle is 6, and the height is 15. So we have pi times 6 squared is 36 times 15. So we have pi times 36 times 15, and we're going to round this to the nearest tenth. So go ahead and multiply the pi. So 36 times 15 times pi. We get 1,696.46.5 if we round that off. So I'm going to come up here and put this. So the cylinder has a volume of 1,696.5. I'm going to subtract from that the volume of the prism. Okay, so let's carry on. Now the prism is going to give us a little more trouble. The reason is, to find the volume of the prism, let me outline the prism here, we need the area of the base, or length times width times height. And the problem right now is that I don't know the length or the width. All I know is the height is 15. Okay, so I'm going to section off a little corner of my page here to work on my prism, because it's going to take a little more work. Okay, so what do we know about this base here? We know it's a square. Okay, so we know these two sides are congruent. We also know that diagonally, halfway across diagonally is 6. So let's go ahead and go all the way across, and that gives us a diagonal of 12. Okay, so our base is a square with a diagonal length 12. We're going to have to use some of our information we've learned in the course. What I'm going to use is that this is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. Okay, how do I know that? I know that because it was 90-degree angles that got cut in half. So I have a right angle, a 45, a 45, and my hypotenuse is 12. Now in your notes somewhere, when we studied 45, 45, 90 triangles, you should have somewhere how you can find the leg when you know the hypotenuse. Well, pause, look for that. And hopefully you find that the leg is the hypotenuse divided by the square root of 2. That was our formula that we used. So the length of each side of this square is going to be 12 divided by the square root of 2. Okay, so now I know on my prism here, my length and my width is whatever 12 divided by the square root of 2 is. Now, I wouldn't round that off, just because the more rounding we do, the more likely we are to have an error. Okay, so just leave it as 12 divided by the square root of 2. All right, we want to go ahead and find the volume of our prism. It's a rectangular prism, so its volume is length times width times height. Our length and our width are both 12 over the square root of 2. So we're taking 12 over the square root of 2 times 12 over the square root of 2 times our height of 15. Now when we multiply here, 12 times 12 gives me 144. And the bottom, square root of 2 times the square root of 2, you can try that on your calculator. You should get just 2. You get the square root of 4, and the square root of 4 is 2. Okay, and we could, instead of putting square root of 4, I'm just going to skip to just putting 2. Okay, so know that that was square root of 2 times square root of 2, and you can do that on your calculator. Square root of 2 times the square root of 2. You should get 2. But I'm crunched for space, so. Alright, and we want to do that times 15. So go 144 divided by 2 times 15. You should get 1080. Okay, now I can go up and finish. So the volume of this prism that was inside, okay, just this part, was 1080. The volume of the cylinder was 1696.5. So I take the cylinder, subtract from it the prism, which is my hole that I cut out, and I will have the volume of the part that I want. If I subtract those, I get a final volume of 616.5, and that would be in cubic centimeters. Okay, so this one was a little more difficult because we had to find parts of the prism to actually do its volume. Again, anytime you can just leave them exact rather than rounding, you're better off for it.